Blake Lively's team is indicating they are going on the offensive. And remember, she was the one who first started all.
In Hollywood, my own position is she's absolutely ruined her brand. She has started a fight she cannot win. I defend Justin Baldoni in this lawsuit with Blake Lively because I think she's horrible and she's made up this whole thing because she tried to steal his movie. She does appear like an Amber Heard to me. I've yet to see one of her complaints borne out. In fact, all of the ones I've seen have been undermined by his hardcore proof in text messaging and so on that puts a totally different light on her.
Megyn Kelly just threw some serious shade into the Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni chaos. On a recent episode of her show, she didn't hold back, calling Blake a serial fraudster and warning that if she keeps pushing for a courtroom showdown, she might just end up behind bars. So what set Kelly off this time? Well, it turns out Lively and Ryan Reynolds' legal team, along with Baldoni's production company, Wayfarer Studios, filed a joint letter to a federal judge, boldly rejecting mediation. Translation? They're skipping the peace talks and heading straight for battle. To the public, this refusal to settle behind closed doors suggests that both sides might be sitting on explosive evidence. But with voices like Megyn Kelly urging Lively to back off, it's starting to look like she's clinging to a losing fight. And here's the kicker. Baldoni and his team have launched a whole website dedicated to proving his innocence and dismantling every accusation Lively has thrown his way. And Baldoni? He's not fighting alone. Back in February 2025, Jed Wallace, owner of crisis PR firm Street Relations, hit Lively with a defamation lawsuit in Texas federal court. He claims her civil rights complaint and lawsuit wrecked his reputation and cost him millions, all because she accused him of being part of a smear campaign orchestrated by Baldoni's PR team. This drama? Far from over. This new lawsuit could be a game changer. So far, the back and forth between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has been nothing short of unpredictable. Twists, turns, and bombshells at every step. Let's break it down. It all started at the movie premiere, when Baldoni walked the red carpet with his wife, completely avoiding photos with the rest of the cast. Suspicious? Maybe. But what really raised eyebrows was his absence from the press tour. Instead of appearing alongside his co-stars, he opted for solo interviews. At first, people assumed it was just a different marketing strategy. But was it something more? Baldoni's approach was clear. He wanted the movie to resonate with women who had experienced abuse. But Blake? She and the rest of the team focused on selling the romance instead. At first, this creative split seemed harmless, until the internet got involved. Critics slammed Blake, claiming she never even read the original book, making it impossible for her to fully connect with the role or market the movie properly. And then came the backlash. People dragged her for using the press tour to push her hair product line and her husband Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool movie instead of focusing on the film. Selfish, tone deaf. Those were just some of the words being thrown around, and it was clearly getting to her. Then, out of nowhere, everything escalated. In December 2024, Blake flipped the script, filing a formal complaint against Baldoni. But before that, she and Reynolds unfollowed him on social media. Then came the accusations: toxic behavior, a hostile work environment, and disturbing on-set conduct. Blake didn't hold back. She claimed Baldoni walked into her trailer uninvited while she was breastfeeding her child. She also accused him and his producing partner, Heath, of running a smear campaign against her after filming Wrapped, causing her grief, fear, trauma, and extreme anxiety. This isn't just Hollywood drama, it's a full-blown war. And at this point, there's no telling who's going down next. When Blake Lively made her accusations, the tide immediately turned in her favor. The same online critics who once dragged her set their sights on Baldoni, and celebrities rushed to show support. Colleen Hoover, author of the book behind the film, publicly praised Blake, calling her honest, kind, and patient. Blake's sister, Robin, celebrated that she was finally getting justice, while her Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars released a statement backing her. As Blake's friends and sisters for over 20 years, we stand with her in solidarity against the reported campaign to destroy her reputation, they declared. Hollywood's A-listers took notice too. Gwyneth Paltrow and Amy Schumer subtly showed their support. And it wasn't just female colleagues speaking up. Director Paul Feig, who worked with Blake on a simple favor, shut down the attacks on her, saying, "She's one of the most professional, creative, and kind people I've ever worked with." The battle lines were drawn, and Blake had powerful allies in her corner. Blake Lively's supporters kept rallying behind her. Canadian director Sean Levy, who met her while working on Deadpool and Wolverine, proudly called her a friend. The list of backers grew fast. Alex Sachs, Jenny Slate, and Brandon Skleiner all voiced their support. But things took a turn when Amber Heard jumped in. She compared Blake's situation to her own legal war with Johnny Depp, making some of Blake's supporters uneasy. Was this the comparison they wanted? Their concerns weren't unfounded. Soon after, Baldoni hit back hard. Lively's allegations devastated his career. He lost contracts, his talent agency dropped him, and despite his efforts to defend himself online, it only made things worse. By January 2025, Baldoni decided to fight back legally. He slapped Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and her PR team with a $400 million defamation lawsuit. In it, he claimed their hostilities started when he refused to let Blake take control of the movie, despite her lack of knowledge on its core themes. Baldoni didn't hold back. He claimed Blake never read the book, leading to poor creative decisions that he, as director and producer, couldn't allow. That, he said, sparked her resentment. He also alleged she made derogatory comments on set, even joking that he should get plastic surgery for his nose. His teammates, Abel and Nathan, also joined the lawsuit. They claimed they had stayed private and low profile but became targets of death threats after Blake included them in her legal battle. Initially, some believed Baldoni and his team were just playing the victim, but that changed when they dropped receipts. Baldoni fired back, suggesting that Blake used him as a scapegoat to distract from her own backlash. His legal team doubled down. Brian Friedman, Baldoni's lawyer, appeared on The Megyn Kelly Show, blasting Lively for manipulating the media before filing any actual legal action. We know the truth, and now the public does too. Justin and his team have nothing to hide. Documents don't lie. The interview wasn't just a defense, it was a strategic takedown. And it started with Blake Lively's Game of Thrones text to Baldoni, and a surprising reference to Taylor Swift. Baldoni's lawsuit included a shocking text exchange where Lively allegedly compared herself to Game of Thrones' Khaleesi, calling Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift her dragons. According to the lawsuit, Lively made several script changes, and Baldoni was forced to accept them after a tense meeting with Reynolds and Swift. He described them as two of the most powerful celebrities in the world, ones who weren't afraid to make his life difficult. During the meeting, Reynolds and Swift backed Lively's script edits. A text included in the lawsuit showed Baldoni initially praising her rewrites, but he later claimed he felt pressured into agreeing due to their influence. Lively's response? "They are my most trusted partners, the first people I go to with anything creative." But the real bombshell? Baldoni accused Reynolds of humiliating him. After Hollywood strikes ended, they held a meeting before filming resumed, where, according to Baldoni, Reynolds unleashed on him in front of celebrity friends, listing complaints in what he called a traumatic encounter. A Sony rep later apologized for not stepping in. As if that wasn't enough, the day after Lively went public with her accusations in December 2024, Baldoni was dropped by his talent agency. He claimed Lively and Reynolds pressured WME, an agency they all shared, to cut ties with him. Baldoni's January 16th lawsuit dropped a bombshell. He claimed Reynolds called him a sexual predator to a talent executive, allegedly pressuring them to cut ties with him. Though the agency denied it, the lawsuit pointed to clear evidence that Baldoni was bullied into accepting Blake and Ryan's control over the film. Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, told Megyn Kelly that Lively never read the book the film was based on, leading to confusion both on and off set. A text in the lawsuit showed Baldoni and producer Jamie Heath discussing Lively's refusal to read the source material, a choice that led to tone-deaf moments. One glaring example, a drink at the after-party named Ryle Uwat, after a character who commits domestic violence in the film. As for Lively's lawsuits, she filed complaints against Baldoni twice in December 2024. Once with the California Civil Rights Department, and again in a New York federal court on December 31st. She accused him, his publicist, Wayfarer Studios, and others of retaliation after she reported sexual harassment and workplace safety concerns. A major part of her case hinges on shocking text messages, particularly exchanges between Baldoni, his publicist Jennifer Abel, and crisis management expert Melissa Nathan. The receipts are out. Now it's a battle over who the public will believe. Blake Lively's lawsuit included damning text messages, allegedly showing Baldoni directing his PR team to spread negative press about her. He even flagged social media posts for them to use, but expressed concern that the smear campaign could be traced back to him. However, Baldoni fired back, claiming the New York Times distorted his messages to frame him. In his lawsuit against the Times, Baldoni presented private conversations with his PR team, where he worried that it looked like they were planting stories, even though they weren't. He asked, "How can we make it clear we're not doing this?" His team assured him that negative press about Lively was inevitable, arguing that the media and fans already had enough ammunition against her. Baldoni's lawsuit dismissed Lively's smear campaign accusations, calling it self-induced backlash, a desperate attempt to save her public image after embarrassment. Lively also accused Baldoni of sexual harassment, claiming he entered her trailer without permission while she was undressed or breastfeeding. But Baldoni fought back with text messages contradicting her claims. In one, Lively invited him into her trailer, casually saying, "I'm just pumping if you want to work on our lines." To further dispute her claims, Baldoni released a 10-minute video from the It Ends With Us set. Dropped on January 21st, the footage specifically aimed to disprove Lively's allegations about his behavior while filming a slow-dancing scene. Baldoni's lawsuit directly challenged Lively's accusations, including a claim that he dragged his lips down her neck, whispering, "It smells so good." In released footage, a similar moment occurs, but with a key difference. Lively jokingly says, "I'm probably getting spray tan on you," and Baldoni casually responds, "It smells good." Another scene shows Baldoni leaning in for a kiss, but Lively pulls back, suggesting, "I think we should be talking. It's more romantic if we're dancing and talking." His team insisted the full footage proves their interactions were professional and well within the scene's context. Lively's team, however, saw it differently. They argued the footage shows her discomfort, claiming any woman who's experienced workplace misconduct would recognize the signs. Brian Friedman, Baldoni's lawyer, shut down Lively's allegations, including claims of sexual harassment and being shown inappropriate content on set. He told Megyn Kelly that if Lively had truly been harassed, she wouldn't have returned to filming. As for the so-called inappropriate content, it was a home birth video used to prepare for a birth scene in It Ends With Us. Friedman also denied that Baldoni hired crisis expert Melissa Nathan to smear Lively. Instead, he claimed she was brought in to counteract negative press against Baldoni, allegedly orchestrated by Lively's PR team, led by Sloan. The battle even extended to Ryan Reynolds' latest Deadpool and Wolverine movie. Friedman suggested that a character's dialogue was written to mock Baldoni, further proving why Baldoni needed a crisis manager, especially after the New York Times published a lengthy hit piece against him. The New York Times article cast Baldoni in such a harsh light that he took legal action. On December 31st, he filed an 87-page lawsuit against the newspaper, accusing it of slander and false light invasion of privacy over its explosive piece titled, "We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine." The article detailed Lively's claims that Baldoni and his PR team orchestrated a campaign to destroy her reputation after she spoke out about alleged misconduct on set. In his lawsuit against the Times, and later against Lively, Baldoni alleged she had been working with the newspaper for months to shape the narrative against him. He also claimed her follow-up lawsuit was designed to cover up her behind-the-scenes collaboration with the press. Despite the Times insisting that it reported responsibly, reached out to Baldoni and his team for comment, and shared key evidence before publication, Baldoni sued anyway. The newspaper vowed to fight the lawsuit aggressively, calling the claims meritless and recycled from an earlier suit filed in California. On the Megyn Kelly show, Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, pushed back, claiming the Times twisted a crucial text message, one that formed the very foundation of its accusations. Baldoni's lawsuit took aim at the New York Times for allegedly misrepresenting a key text message, specifically the use of an upside-down smile emoji. According to the Times, his PR rep praised Nathan for pushing an anti-Lively news article, saying, "You really outdid yourself with this piece." However, the lawsuit argued that they deliberately left out the upside-down emoji, which indicated sarcasm. Nathan even replied, "That's why you hired me, right? I'm the best." Baldoni's team insisted this proved it was a joke, and Nathan wasn't involved in planting the story. Friedman, however, didn't hesitate when asked if Lively's team planted negative press against Baldoni. In his lawsuit against the Times, Baldoni claimed Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, actively pushed false narratives about him, including claims that he was a sexual predator. The lawsuit accused Sloan of feeding misleading stories to the Daily Mail and the New York Post, one of which alleged multiple HR complaints were filed against Baldoni during production. Sloan later denied any involvement in the HR complaint article. Still, Friedman doubled down, telling Megyn Kelly that Lively and her team definitely fueled negative headlines about Baldoni. When Kelly asked about fat-shaming allegations, Friedman pushed back. Lively's lawsuit claimed Baldoni continuously objectified her and made indirect comments about her body. The most damning accusation? That Baldoni contacted her fitness trainer behind her back, asking for a plan to make her lose weight in 2 weeks. Baldoni's lawsuit directly countered Lively's fat-shaming claims. While she alleged he secretly contacted her trainer about her weight under the false pretense of needing to lift her in a scene that never existed, Baldoni insisted his inquiry was solely for safety reasons due to his ongoing back issues. His lawsuit further clarified that the reason the lift scene never made it into the film was because Lively refused to perform it, despite rehearsals already being done with a stunt double. This refusal, according to Baldoni's legal team, was just one example of her overriding creative control, which ultimately led to a power struggle over the final cut of the film. While promoting It Ends With Us, Baldoni praised Lively, calling her a powerhouse creative and wonderful collaborator. But in his New York Times lawsuit, he took a different tone, stating that Lively and Reynolds crossed the line in their attempts to control the movie, ultimately disrespecting him as the director. The lawsuit alleged that Lively interfered in the editing process, pushing for her own version of the film. Baldoni even incorporated 7 pages of her notes, but she refused to back down, allegedly threatening not to promote the movie unless her cut was seriously considered. As a result, the studio was forced to test both versions in audience screenings, with an agreement that Lively would support whichever performed better. However, despite Baldoni's version scoring significantly higher, the lawsuit claimed Lively still refused to honor the deal, forcing the studio to cave yet again. Baldoni's lawsuit revealed even more shocking claims, including that Lively tried to ban him from the film's premiere. According to his legal filing, she attempted to block his attendance entirely, and when that failed, he was forced to attend under humiliating conditions. The complaint alleged that Baldoni was barred from the exclusive after-party, a claim further backed by a newly released voice note. In the recording, Baldoni described how, after walking the red carpet, he was sent to the basement of the event for over an hour with his friends and family, isolated from the rest of the cast. He claimed it was because someone didn't want him anywhere near them. On The Megyn Kelly Show, Kelly's reaction was explosive. After hearing the legal team's case, she didn't hold back, stating that Blake had completely destroyed her reputation and could even face legal consequences for wasting the court's time. "My position is she's absolutely ruined her brand," Kelly declared. "She started a fight she cannot win. She looks like an Amber Heard 2.0. She went further, saying she had yet to see any of Lively's complaints hold up, claiming Baldoni's text evidence contradicted all of them. The Amber Heard comparison immediately set the internet on fire, with people looking back at that infamous legal battle, drawing eerie parallels between the two. The Amber Heard case began in 2018 when the Washington Post published an op-ed about her experiences. Though she never named Johnny Depp, He claimed the article contained damaging insinuations against him, leading him to file a defamation lawsuit. Amber countersued, and what started as a defamation case quickly spiraled into something much bigger. She accused Depp of assault, claiming she filed for divorce because of domestic violence. Depp, however, turned the tables, insisting he was the real victim. Both presented a mountain of evidence, but in the end, Depp was awarded significantly more in damages. Amber argued that Depp's power and influence swayed the jury, but they didn't buy her story. Many dismissed her emotional displays as crocodile tears, which is exactly why Blake Lively is now facing similar accusations. Some online believe both women manipulated the narrative in their favor, while others argue the truth lies somewhere in the middle. A more recent Hollywood case drawing comparisons is Jonathan Majors' 2023 legal battle with his ex-girlfriend, who accused him of assault. Though it didn't reach the media frenzy of Amber or Blake's cases, it still sparked heated debates online. Jonathan Majors' case ended in a conviction, but with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, the outcome remains uncertain. Their trial is set for March 2026, unless one of them backs down before then. Right now, Baldoni has strong public support, thanks to the evidence he's presented. Among his vocal defenders is Candace Owens, who took to X, formerly Twitter, on Christmas Eve 2025, saying, "What if, instead of blindly believing men or women, we waited for facts before stripping Baldoni of his achievements?" During an NBC appearance, Owens backed Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, calling him a tiger and insisting he's telling the truth. On Lively, she added, "The vibes are not vibing for her." With the jury watching closely, Blake needs stronger evidence, or she may have just proven Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens right. What do you think? Is Blake's case falling apart, or is Baldoni just playing it smart? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch our latest updates. See you in the next one.